Welcome back everyone, I'm K-Plays Games and this is FTL. We've played FTL 4 times on this channel before, but it's been quite some time since the last time we've played it, so I think now would be a good time to have another go at it. FTL is a roguelike strategy adventure game. It's lots of good fun, there is lots of replayability, there's 28 different ships to use, and your journey, because this is a roguelike game, will be different every time. So we've only used 4 of the 28 possible ships, so there's lots of replay value still to be had. As you can see at the bottom, this game came out in 2012, but the graphics look like they're 8-bit, so that makes the game timeless. Let's click New Game and get into it. I will be explaining mechanics as we go because, as I said, it's been quite some time since we played it, and we've had lots of new people brought into the channel since then. Hello to you, hello. Thank you for coming along. So this is the first ship you start the game with. When you complete it with this ship, you unlock the next ship and so on. And if you do 2 of these tasks, which are different for each ship, you unlock the alternate ship, the second alternate fit when you use the advanced edition of the game. You'll be using the normal version of the game, at least until we've finished all the A and B types, and then we'll go for type Cs. So this is the first one we did on the channel, and then that unlocked this and we did that. And that unlocked this and we did that, and that unlocked this and we did that. So this is the ship we're going to be using today, the Gila monster, which is the Mantis Type A cruiser. Just very quickly take you around. This is the crew we start with. We start with 3 Mantis. When you mouse over them, it tells you what they do. Mantis inflict 1.5 damage in close combat, fisticuffs, and they move at 1.2 times speed. But they're ability to repair broken systems on the ship is halved. To complement them, we have 1 NG, whose repair speed is doubled, but their combat inflicted damage is halved, so he will not be doing any fighting. The ship comes with 2 weapons pre-installed, a basic laser which fires 1 shot per cycle, and a small bomb which teleports a bomb onto an enemy ship and then explodes, dealing 2 damage to any systems in that room, and 30 damage to any crew in that room. Talking of rooms and systems, this is our ship. This is all the rooms we have on the ship, and rooms and systems have an icon telling you which that system is. That's a med bay, heals people up. That's oxygen, keeps people breathing. That's piloting, lets us pilot. This is engines, increases dodge and speeds up our faster than light jump engines. This one here is doors, lets us open doors. This is weapons, this is shields, and this one is something that's the special ability of this ship. This here is a teleporter, so you teleport onto another ship and you have some fisticuffs action. That's what Mantis are all about. This is what level each of these systems is at. See, almost everything's at level 1 apart from the engines, which are level 2, and shields, which are level 2. Shields work slightly differently. You get 1 shield bubble around your ship for every 2 bars you have, so you always start with shields level 1. Well, most ships start with shields with 1 shield bubble, which is level 2 in shields, so to get another 2 shield barriers, as we see, we would need to go up to level 4 in shields. How do you level up? You collect scrap, and the scrap is this star icon with the numbers next to it, and the numbers next to it is how much scrap you need to make that upgrade. We'll take everything else as we go. We will be not using the advanced edition content, so that's disabled. Let's talk about the difficulty modes. FTL is a very hard game. Easy on FTL is what other games would call hard mode. Normal difficulty on FTL is what other games would call challenge or hardcore mode. And hard mode on FTL is you hit yourself and you think you must be punished. So I'm going to stick it on easy. Let's go. Okay, the data we are carrying is vital to the remaining Federation fleet. You'll need supplies for the journey, so make sure to explore each sector before moving on to the next. But get to the exit before the pursuing rebel fleet can catch up, and then a useless tip. Okay, this is the main game UI, as I said. The graphics look 8-bit. This is our crew down here, and as you see when you mouse over you get a long list of stats. Each time they do something they will get a little pip. So Alison is currently our pilot, so every time a dodge happens, she will get 1 level of piloting skill. And when it goes up, this icon will become green and they'll become the first level trained, and then there's another level after that which is gold, and that increases their skill in that particular ship system. So I think I want to rearrange my crew a little bit. To select your crew, you can either left click on them here or left click on them on the model or draw a box. I'd rather have my NG in engines and I'd rather have Allison here, and Lang here, and Lexi here. This is so that I can draw a box like that and select Allison and Lang, or hold shift and click them both, the top two on the list, because these two are going to be our boarding party. These two here, Lexi and Atreyu, the NG, are going to fly the ship, and these two, hopefully, are going to be teleporting on board enemy ships and killing everyone. Now you will notice that our weapons is only at level 1, and we need 1 power bar. Okay, let's talk about power bars now. As we see on the side is a reactor. This is how much power we have, and you can redistribute your power to activate and deactivate different systems. So you right click, deactivate, and the power goes into the reactor. See, because we depowered the engines, we've lost all our evasion, so we won't be able to dodge anything, and our FTL drive's gone offline. So that's how you move your power around. Obviously you can upgrade this as you go. We have 2 weapons, but we only have level 1 in weapons, so we can only use one of our weapons at any one time, which is not great. This up here is our health. When that runs out, game over. Simple. This is how many shield balls we have. We have 1. This is our evasion chance, our chance to dodge any incoming damage, which is 20%. Not great, not terrible. Current oxygen levels 100 because the oxygen thing is online and functional. This is how much fuel we have. Each time we make a jump, we'll lose 1. This is how many missiles we'll have. Missiles and bombs consume 1 missile each time you fire. This is how many drones we have. We have no drones. This is how much scrap we have, which is 30. Okay, this is the ship upgrade menu. You'll be seeing this a lot. This is where you can buy power bars and upgrade all your systems, and review your people and see what's in your cargo bay. Oh yeah, something else I forgot to tell you. We begin this game with an augmentation, which is our cruise movement speed is increased by 25%. If you recall, Mantis move at 1.2 anyway, and they're getting another 25% on that. I'll probably just sell this the first chance I get because it's good money early in the game. Speaking of early in the game, what I want to do with our 30 scrap right now is to upgrade the teleporter. Because as we see at level 1, it takes 20 seconds for the teleporter to cycle. So once we've teleported people on board an enemy ship, we can't bring them back for 20 seconds, and many bad things can happen in 20 seconds. So I'm going to put 1 extra in there to reduce the cooldown to 15 seconds. But to have it reduced to 15 seconds, we need to have 2 power bars in it. As we see, at the minute it's only powered to level 1. So we'll left click and assign our 1 remaining power bar, and now it's saying level 2. Okay, subsystem doors. You can open doors to the outside, which won't vent it. As we heard, the psh, that's letting oxygen out of the ship. Okay, well, let's actually start the game. Jump. Okay, the goal in each sector is to go from where you start, which is where your ship is, to the exit. But you do not want to go there as quickly as possible. What you want to do is to visit as many of these pings as possible to gather equipment and money and upgrades and to get experience for your crew. So you need to time it quite carefully. After a couple of jumps, you'll see this big red arc coming, and that is the enemy fleet. If you get caught by the fleet, it is not an instant game over, but it's very difficult to escape them, especially early game. So if we go here, there is no green dotted line connecting it to anywhere else. We would have to double back on ourselves, so that would waste 1 fuel to go there and another 1 to go here. So we're not going to do that. We're going to come down here. It is a good idea to just mouse over all the pings on the map and check your route to the exit, because sometimes you think, oh, just come up here and then link here, and this may not be linked to the exit. Then you'd have to circle back through the enemy fleet, and that's just sad times. So let's actually visit a ping, shall we? -1 fuel. Oh joy. Okay, we're in an asteroid field. That's going to be fun. So the only option we have at the minute is turn and fight. Okay. First thing I do every fight is what I call the P.I.E method. It stands for pause, identify, and evaluate. I've done the first bit. I've pressed the spacebar and that pauses the game. You will be using your spacebar a lot because you really want to turn this game into a turn-based game. Pause. You can give commands when you're paused, and then as soon as you're unpaused, the commands are carried out. It's very, very handy. Identify. What can we identify in the enemy ship? Well, they have 2 lasers, each of which will do 1 shot each. And our shields will absorb 1 shot and go down for a few seconds. and unfortunately the second shot will pierce our shields and hit one of our systems, which is a bad thing. And we can't see what the enemy crew are because we don't have sensor subsystem. That's this missing hole down here in the bottom right. If you have level 1 sensor, you can see all the rooms in your own ship will be white and not greyed out. If you have level 2, you'll see into the enemy ship. So we can't identify the enemy ship's crew, so we don't know what they're like. And now we're on to the evaluate stage. How are we going to get out of this? Because we know that they can damage us. They'll fire 2 shots, one of which will put the shield down, the other one which will go through the shield. And another horrifying thing is that we're in an asteroid belt, and asteroids also act like weapons, and they will put our shields down. And occasionally an asteroid will pass through the shields and impact our hull, but that'll be happening to the bad guys as well. So how are we going to get rid of them? What we can do is depower our teleporter, power up our bomb, and then left click on it to select it, and then launch the bomb at their shields, put their shields down, and hope that the asteroids destroy them. So let's unpause and see what happens. As we see, this cycle timer will go up, and when it reaches the top, the weapon's ready to fire. Oop, shields down, thanks. Here come the wet lasers. Okay, as I said, the first laser put the shields down, second one hit an empty room, that's good, and then an asteroid snuck in and hit us in the teleporter, which is fine because we're not using the teleporter at the minute. Let's see if the bomb takes their shields down. Yes, it did. And we get a glimpse of their crew. That's a Rockman. They have 150 health. Most crew have 100, as we see. When we mouse over our own, they have 100. Rocks move slowly. They're immune to fire, and they have 150 health. And someone else is coming in here to fix it. And I just saw one frame of the back end of a Mantis. So they have a rock and a Mantis, and now their shields are down. I really do not want to teleport any of my crew onto their ship. So what I'm gonna do is... now, they've got 2 crew members repairing this system, and if it comes back online, then their shields are gonna go back up. Which will mean if I switched over to the laser, like depowered the bomb and powered up the laser, we wouldn't be able to do anything because we've got one laser that does 1 damage and they've got 1 shield. So I'm going to stick with the bomb, and we're going to try and disable their weapons next and hope we don't get absolutely destroyed. Okay, well that's fine. They've been hitting empty rooms and the asteroids are hitting their ship as well. Good. Aha! We did 2 system damage, which was enough to destroy their weapons, and it set fire to them as well. Fire will damage systems over time, but that system was destroyed anyway, and fires will damage crew over time. Fires have to be put out before they can repair the system. This is good. All we can see at the minute is their doors opening and closing because people are running around like mad trying to fix the shields and fix the weapons. I want to bomb their shields again just to keep them down. Okay, asteroid has hit their ship and turned their oxygen off. That's good. Oh, and they've got 1 Mantis in the shields trying to repair it. That's not going to go too well because Mantis have half repair speed. They got both weapons on for an instant there. Let's just keep the shields down. Come on, asteroids, finish it off for me. We're not actually doing any damage to the ship itself because bombs just damage systems. There we go. Oh, that asteroid missed. That's annoying. Hey! And what we heard there, that psh, was a breach. Breaches are like fires. Breaches cause holes in rooms and all the oxygen floods out, and before they can repair the system, they have to repair the breach. So they're going to have to repair a breach and then repair the shield system all the time. The oxygen is disappearing. Okay, 1 more asteroid, please. Come on, come on, come on. Don't make me fire another bomb. I want to... Yes, I want to preserve my ammo. Excellent. Wow, that was a difficult fight. See, the first ping of the whole game in the very first sector, and it's something that can easily destroy us in an asteroid field. And this is on easy mode. Told you, man, this game is brutal. Anyway, the enemy ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap material in the form of 3 fuel, 1 drone part and 18 scrap. Let's continue. I could take the time to run the NG over to fix up the teleporter right now. I think I'll give him a command to do that. But before he actually does that, I'm going to jump, because as we know, some of these asteroids can pass straight through our one bubble of shield and cause more damage. I don't want to take more damage here. We're leaving. Let's go to this ping. And what have we here? We see a civilian space station with heavy damage. You receive a message. We've been hit hard by the war. We need more drone parts to speed up our repairs. We'll buy some from you if you have extra. Well, we don't have enough drone parts to sell them, so we're just going to ignore that station. And we're just going to sit here until our NJ has fixed up our system. There he is. Good boy. And that reminds me, what I forgot to do was to save the position of the crew, which I had set up painstakingly. So let's put Lexi back here, you back here, Lang on weapons, Allison on shields. This time I will click this button and save their positions. When you press enter, it returns all crew to their default positions. As we see, we got some training out of that. We must have dodged 6 things, either laser blast or an asteroid, so that's pretty good. We got a decent amount of training out of that. We fired 5 bombs, which is like 5 too many really, and we absorbed 12 hits on our shield. That's why shields and weapon skills are like quite high and everything else is quite low. Okay, we've got 18 scrap, nothing we can spend that on, so let's just jump. A store, and here come the enemy fleet. This will advance by a certain amount every ping we visit, which is like every turn. I don't think it's worth going to a store. We've only got 18 scrap. I know I said I wanted to sell the Mantis pheromones as soon as possible, but to be honest, it's not going to get us that much money. Let's ignore the store and push onwards. Hey, you find a rebel automated scout floating near this beacon. Despite its pristine condition, it appears to be deactivated. You can attempt to download the ship's data stores, which will reveal what all the pings on this entire sector map are, which is really good, and I'm probably going to do that. Or we can choose the safe option of don't risk activating it, just strip it for useful scrap and get 12 scrap. Well, knowledge is power, so I'm going to do number 1. Just to avoid misclicks, I do always use the number keys, so 1. Oops, we accidentally reactivate the ship's AI. Its weapons immediately go online. Prepare for a fight. Okay, so pause. Identify. They have an ion weapon. And ion weapons, if they hit a room, will depower that system by 1 bar for 4 seconds. Or is it 2 seconds? Can't remember. It's a few seconds anyway. But if it hits the shield, it will depower the shield by 1 bar. And this is a mini beam. This, instead of doing a laser blast, which will do 1 damage to 1 room, this draws a little line across a couple of rooms and does 1 damage to each, reduced by 1 for every active shield bubble. So they're going to put our shields down with the ion blast and hit us with the mini beam. But luckily for us, it doesn't appear to have any shields, so I'm going to depower the bomb, power up the laser, and just get it to shoot it in the weapons and try and knock their weapons offline. Now the thing about drones is that there are no crew, so there's no point teleporting over because there's no crew to kill. You can teleport over and break the systems, but there's no oxygen in these automated scouts either, and your crew will suffocate. It is possible to, if you have like a level 3 teleporter fully powered, beam over, smash something and then beam back and then fix your almost dead people in the med bay, but we don't have that. And there's no real need to, so let's see what happens here. Shields down. Oh, okay. The mini beam, as we saw, was a little beam. It just did a little slash. But it did destroy our piloting and set it on fire, so the fire's going to have to be put out before the piloting can be fixed. And because piloting's knackered, that also reduces evasion to 0. So if your engines or your piloting get destroyed, evasion 0. So let's select the NG, right click to put him in this room because he'll put the fire out really quickly, and then very quickly fix up the piloting, but at the same time we managed to damage their weapons. That's fine, because in 1 second, when this finishes, the shield's going to come back. And a mini beam can't get through a shield, so that's nice. So let's just keep firing at their weapons. Right, no weapons for them. And press enter, put everyone back to their default positions. Smash the piloting now. Okay, that's the evasion gone down to 0. Another interesting thing about these automated scouts, because they have no crew on board to fix the systems, they automatically fix systems, but they cannot fix systems in rooms which have a breach. So if you have breaching weapons, they're really good to use against auto scouts. We don't. But its evasion is 0 because the piloting is red, so we will hit whatever we fire at. Now, can you hear that laid over the music? I'm hearing crackling. That means there's another fire in here somewhere. So I'm going to put the NG into the doors. And I'm going to open all these doors. There's a fire somewhere on our ship that we can't see. So that will drain all the oxygen out of all of these rooms. Just going to put our last laser blast in there, finish it off. The ship explodes, leaving 3 fuel, 1 drone part and 25 more scrap. Nice. I'm not hearing the fire anymore. I think it was in this room. I think the mini beam got really lucky and drew a line across here. 1 damage here, 1 damage here, and set fire to both rooms. That's quite rare. Mate, let's select the 2 people that are broken and put them up here in the med bay. I'll depower the weapon, power up the med bay. Slowly over time fixes the people. Okay, the more levels you put into it, the faster it fixes people. Okay, everyone's fine. 43 scrap, don't want to spend that quite yet. Distress signal. Now these are good. Some of them lead on to quests and give you other fun options. So let's do this. You arrive at the distress beacon near a small asteroid belt and find a ship with pirate markings partially crushed between 2 large rocks. It must have been illegally mining the belt without proper equipment. We can try and dislodge the ship by shooting at the rocks, or we can destroy and loot the ship. They're just pirates, so I'm going to do number 2. You decide the pirate is not worth saving and fire a few volleys into their hull. Before you can scrap the remains, another pirate ship flashes on your radar. Perhaps they saw your deed, or perhaps they want to claim the spoils for themselves, but for whatever reason, they're charging their weapons. Okay, so let's pause. Identify. They have a large laser. Heavy lasers do 1 shot per cycle, but if they hit a hull, unlike little lasers, these will do 2 damage. But that's not going to be hitting our hull, it's just going to be hitting the shield. And they have a mini beam. We know what they do, we've seen them in action. And as before, we cannot identify the crew, but I think I'm going to do a boarding action just to show you how it works. Because if you can kill the enemy crew, then you get increased rewards, which is excellent. So let's draw a box, select the 2 people, get them into the teleporter, power up the teleporter, and have a go. Okay, they're in the teleporter. Left click this, left click which room you want to send them to. Let's go to piloting. Let's see who's in here. A rock man with lots of health, that's not good fun. And another rock man with lots of health, also not fun. Let's select our people and run them into the shields just to see who else is here. There's an NG. Okay, we can kill the NG quite quickly. That's good, actually. So there's 3 people on this ship, I think. Our health is dropping. Now we have the low health warning, but that's okay because our teleporter is ready to bring us back. Let's just bring our people back. There they are. And send them to the med bay. I'm just going to turn oxygen off for a few seconds. Just as long as it takes to heal our people, then I'll turn it back on. Oxygen slowly dropping, health is going up. Whoops. That was close to hitting the med bay. Okay, medbay off, oxygen back on, people back in the teleporter please. Teleporter's ready to go. Okay, and now the NG's going to run in here and join the fight, but it's going to be too late. Excellent. Oh, nice. You find a weapon system on their ship. With no crew to stop you, you install it on your own. Luckily, they were not firing this at us. We got 13 scrap and a firebomb. Now, firebombs are evil weapons, and I love them. Also known as the War Crimes Bomb. Unfortunately, it takes 2 power bars to fire that, and we only have 1 in our weapon system at the moment. Let's send everyone back to their stations. Remove the power from the med bay. So if we wanted to upgrade our weapons, as we see, the first system power is going to cost 40 scrap. Then the second one's going to be 25. So it's just getting started. Because it's a weak system, if you only have 1 in weapons, the first upgrade is really expensive, and then it gets cheaper and then more expensive. See, first one's 40, then 25, then 35, then 50. So if we wanted to use that firebomb, we would have to spend 40 scrap and then probably another 20 to get another power bar to put into the system. But I'm not going to do that. What I always like to do, as soon as I get 50 scrap, is buy the next 2 levels of shields. So now what we can do is depower something else from the engines and put it into shields. And we now have 2 shield bubbles. So now if we meet something which has 1 laser and a beam, we're immune, because the laser will take down 1 shield bubble and the beam will just splash off the other one. So that's always the first thing I do. So let's move on. You spot a small rebel ship nearby. It seems to have been refitted for transport rather than combat. It does not seem to want to engage you and your ship. We can demand the surrender of their goods and avoid the ship. Avoiding the ship is no fun. We're going to demand the surrender of their goods. You prepare to secure their cargo by force. Continue. They look like they don't want to fight. They are trying to escape. And indeed, what we see here is enemy FTL charging, which is very much like our faster than light drive. Now, unfortunately, we cannot see how fast their FTL charges up, but they are in the process of charging up their FTL. We don't want them to escape because we'll get nothing from the encounter if they do. And sometimes if they escape, the rebel fleet gets an extra move and they'll come closer to us. So, pause. What do they have in the way of weapons? They have 1 laser that does 1 shot, so we do not need 2 layers of shield. We'll just depower it. When you right click shields, it takes 2 power away from it. What we would like to do is to turn our bomb on and bomb their engines, and I would also like to put our boarding crew in here, power up the teleporter to maximum, and get in here and kill the crew before they run away. Now, the idea here is that we're going to teleport into weapons, and that will drag 2 of their crew here, and then hopefully when we destroy the engines, not only will that stop their FTL charging, it will drag whoever's in piloting flying the ship out of piloting to try and fix the engine. And even if they get the engine fixed, because there's no one in piloting, their FTL will stop charging. That's the plan anyway. If this bomb misses, the plan might go awry. The bomb hit. Good. Oh, that's not good. What we saw there was someone or something came out of their drone control room and went in here. Unfortunately, that was a repair drone, and they're really fast at repairing stuff. So the FTL is only going to be down for a few seconds until that drone fixes it. Then it's going to go back to charging up. So I think I'm going to get our pilot to go in the teleporter and put the NG into piloting. We might have to teleport someone else in here. Okay, looks like the first 2 are dead. No, good, it's fine. Their last crew member has come out of piloting to fight our Mantis. Okay, let's do a little trick here. See, this Mantis is in bad shape. This one has more health because this one is not being fought. He's just shooting. this guy is fighting, so we want to swap their positions. What you can do, we'll just tell this Mantis, select him, tell him to go here, and then tell this Mantis to go here. And usually rooms are filled from the left to the right. So now if we tell this Mantis to not go there, but to go here, and then tell this Mantis not to go there, but to come into this room, and our two Mantises will now swap positions, like so. Excellent. So that's how you do the Ol Switcheroo. The ship was apparently carrying information about the surrounding beacons. Oh, nice. You download what you can to the ship's map and scrap the rest of the ship. So we got 24 scrap from doing that. Let's bring everyone back. Put them in the med bay. Power up the med bay. So remember we met that automated scout and we tried to download the map information and failed? Well, we've succeeded now, because it was a bonus reward for killing the crew. Let's put everyone back to where they should be. I always like to have like one spare power bar. Actually, no, I want 2 spare shields. And then if we need them, we can depower other things. Okay, so here we have all the information that we got from that. These yellow warning triangles means potential ship. That means ion storm. Ion storms are very bad. What ion storms do is that they reduce your maximum power output by half. So we would lose half of the power bars we have, and we're only barely keeping the ship running with what we have. So let's not go to that ping. Ships we like, because that means we can kill people with our mantises and get more rewards. So I think this one, then this one, then this one, and then we'll go through these little nebula ones. As we see, when we mouse over nebulas, they're ringed in blue. The nebula here will make fleet pursuit slower, but will disrupt your sensors. Yes, instead of the fleet travelling this distance when you're in a nebula, it gets halved, so it's like really, really slow. So we've got more than enough time to do this, this, that, and then probably all 3 of these and get to the exit. So let's do this one then. You come across a pirate in hot pursuit of an unidentified ship. You quickly receive a transmission from the pirate. Stay out of this fight and we'll make it worth your while. They're trying to bribe us with 2 fuel, 1 missile and 14 scrap. Well, that's just boring. Let's try to be a hero. This pirate ship stops its pursuit and locks its weapons onto your ship. Let's have a look. What have they got? They have 1 laser and 1 mini beam, and because we've got 2 layers of shield, we're invincible. So that means we don't actually need our engines. So I'm going to turn the engines off. Don't care if our evasion's gone to 0, because they can't get through the shield anyway. Let's put our 2 boarding mantis in the teleporter and power that up to maximum, so we can retrieve them if there's evil stuff on this ship. Let's see who's at home. A mantis, that's not good. Looks like a rockman. Yep, that's fine. Because this rockman took so long to get up here because they're slow, we had 2 mantis fighting 1 mantis, and now it's probably going to die in the next few seconds. It's great. And someone else is going to run up here. Is this another rockman? Wow, okay. We're going to have to come back. Even doing the Ol Switcheroo, this rockman will take too long to kill. And he'll kill one of us before we can kill him. Oxygen off. Medbay on. Only 1 enemy left on the ship. It's a tough rockman, but we'll be fine. You 2 back in the teleporter. Medbay off, oxygen on before everyone else suffocates. And back into piloting and kill our 1 remaining crew member. So that's why I like getting level 2 shields. We're invincible. There we go, the pirates are all dead, leaving the ship dead in space. You scrounge what you can from the ship before contacting its former prey. So from this ship we got 3 fuel, 1 drone and 21 scrap, not bad. Oh, we failed to save them. We were too late. A hull breach deprived the crew of oxygen during your fight with the pirate. You salvage what you can, but we did get another 24 scrap out of that. That's not bad. 75 scrap, I like that. Let's spend some of that. But before I do that, let's fix our people up and then send them back to stations. And then turn the oxygen back on. Okay, upgrades time. The next upgrade I like to do is to increase the doors to level 2. Because at the minute, these orange doors, if any enemy were to board our ship, and yes, they can do that, these orange doors do not stop enemy movement. They can just run straight through them. Level 2 doors do stop them, and the enemy have to stop to break them down, and that gives us a chance to either vent the room into space and choke them out, or to get our own people there, or to come up with some other plan. So let's do that. And that also means that if the door room gets hit by 1 damage, it still has 1 damage available, and it will not be broken, just damaged. We still have 40 scrap, that's pretty good. So I think what I'm going to do is upgrade the oxygen, just so if the oxygen takes a hit, it's not going to get turned off. Okay, so let's depower the teleporter, power up the engines, and move on. I think we've even got enough time to do this one, you know. You kind of want to, you don't want to get too far ahead of the enemy fleet, but remember, we do have to, we're not just moving forward, we do have to come down and then go up. Even though it's going to move slower in here, I think we've got time to do this. Then that, then that, then that. And then we'll see how close it is and how many of these blue pings we can do before we get to the exit. An advanced rebel automated ship remains stationed near a small rebel space station. Sensors indicate it's a storage vessel for military goods. Well, that sounds nice. We can attack the automated ship to get to the storage cache. I think I'm going to do that, or we can avoid the fight. Number 1, please. And luckily for us, this has Ion Mark 1, which will disable 1 laser shield, and Heavy Laser, which will bounce off the other shield. So again, we are immune. Don't need the teleporter. It hasn't got any shields. Basic laser on. What I'm going to do this time, because I don't care about destroying the weapons, I'm just going to hold control, and that turns the targeting icon yellow, and that means automatically fire at this location every time the cycle is ready. You can do the same by doing auto fire, but that will fire everything in the rack as soon as it's ready, and because all the weapons have different cycle times, everything gets out of timing, and it's just usually a bad idea. Why did I not take the weapons down? Oh, because I'm hoping that they'll miss, and that will get some training on our people. There you go, like that. More training is never a bad idea. I mean, I could if I wanted to, because we are invincible, not fire at this and just sit here and do nothing until we got enough misses that both of our people not only got green trained but got gold trained, but that's boring. I'm not going to do that. But you can do that. It's not cheating, it's a reward for being clever for upgrading your shields. And there it goes, kaboom! What was in the station? We salvage what we can from the broken ship. So from the ship we get 19 scrap. What's in the station? Hey! The station was apparently designed to outfit rebel ships with drone systems. We find a functioning drone schematic. 12 more scrap and a combat drone Mark II. That's a really nice combat drone. But unfortunately we don't have a drone system, so we can't use it at the minute. Combat drone Mark II needs 4 power in the drone system, which we don't have, and 4 power is quite a lot. So we do have some extra scrap. We know because we got a map download that showed us what all the other pings are. There are no more stores in this sector, so there's no point saving up scrap in this sector. So I'm going to spend it on a powered up medbay. A, because it can heal our people faster, and B, in case it gets hit it will keep working, because sometimes you might need that, and it might also give us some story options. Same with the advanced oxygen. Like, some enemy ships try and turn off your systems, but if you've got extra power in them, you're given an option to keep them working on power level 1. So let's move on. You recognise the ship as a well-known slave trader. He hails you and offers you labourers for cheap. If we had 41 scrap, we can buy another Mantis. We can attack the slaver scum, we can ignore the slaver, but what we have is our first blue option. Blue options are not always the best option, but they usually are. And the blue option we have is because we have a teleporter. Like, if you have certain crew members or certain systems at certain power levels, or just certain systems in existence at all, you get extra options. And this one is teleporter. Use your teleporter to attempt to board the ship and release some of the slaves. Yes please, a free extra crew member would be lovely. Hey! You beam a small team into their holds. They work quickly to free the slaves and teleport back to your ship. One of the captives seems fit for battle and you throw him a weapon in preparation for a fight. So we have a human called Matthew. And we have to fight the bad guys as well. Here's Matthew here. And Matthew is a human. And if we see, his training stats have much smaller numbers because that's the advantage of humans. They don't have extra health, they don't do extra repair, they just train up really, really quickly. So I think Matthew is going to be our pilot, and Lexi can go and man the door system. And you'll see the doors will change in appearance when Lexi gets in there, because it's manned. It's now level 3. Some systems, when you man them, get an extra power level. Oops, I forgot I wasn't unpaused. That's naughty. Anyway, identify. You've got 2 little lasers that do 1 shot each with 2 layers of shield. We're invincible. So let's drag our combat crew and put them over. Then we'll just teleport over. We don't need the engines at all. Beam aboard down here and see who's here. No, a Mantis and an NG. Okay, that's not great. So let's run up to this room. See what else we can see. This is a good way of kiting, because you know that the Mantis is faster than the NG. If you can just keep running the length of the ship, the Mantis will arrive first, and both of our Mantis will get to shoot it before the NG arrives. So you can kite difficult enemies. There we are. That's how you do it. And it looks like there were only 2 people here. Nice. We heard a ding. That was someone getting trained up. So this is going great. You find a number of slaves in the cargo hold. They look at you questioningly, and one asks if they are to be released. You could use more crew, but you don't want to force them all to work for you. Instead, we get our pick of who we want. Do we want another Mantis to go 4 Mantis? That would be lovely. Do we want a rock man? Someone who's slow and has huge health and is immune to fires. They're quite good. Or another NG to fix up the ship. I think I'm going to go for another Mantis. Alright, the Mantis seems fine with the order, saying, I'm on board if it means we get to kill some rebels. You drop the rest of them off at a nearby station. We get 1 missile, 1 drone, another 24 scrap, and Leo Jun, another Mantis. So we got 2 extra crew members from that. And Lang has hit people enough that he's leveled up. So as we see, he now does 10% more crew damage on top of the 1.5 that he already gets from being a Mantis. So fully trained up combat Mantis are evil. Right, so let's depower that, power this. We're going to have to rearrange our crew somewhat here, because now I think Allison and Lang can probably just be stationed in the teleporter now. Yeah. And the new Mantis can go down here and the other Mantis can go up here. Safe positions. Alright, pretty good. We do have some spare scrap, so I'm going to buy 1 more power bar. That's a bit better, so we don't have to run around with the engines off all the time. And at least now you've got 1 power bar. So we can bomb something. If the enemy's weapons are able to harm our ship, we can bomb them whilst the Mantis are fighting the crew. Yeah, that'll do. That looks nice, I like that. So that was a highly successful slaver. We beamed this guy off, then we killed the crew and got this guy. Nice. Onwards we go. A rebel ship is guarding this beacon. You order a pursuit course and prepare to scratch up 1 more. Let's continue. It's a little pause. They've got a little laser and heavy laser. That's only 2 laser shots and we've got 2 shields, so we're invincible. So again, let's just board them. We'll go into piloting first. See who else runs in. A couple of humans. 2 mantis will easily kill 3 humans. I'm assuming it's going to be a 3rd human that's here. We'll just do the old switcheroo when the 3rd guy gets here. Might not be a human. Let's find out. Who's going to join the party? It is indeed another human. Oh, and we've got a level up on the engine skill from the NG, so the dodge has gone up to 17. It was at 20 when we had it fully powered. It's now 22, so we got an extra 2% out of that. Okay, this mantis is fine. This guy's going to die before he kills our mantis, just. With the crew dead, you're able to take the fuel out of storage. You also take all the scrap you can manage. 3 fuel and 30 scrap. Nice. Bring our guys back, put them in the med bay. I think I'm going to buy at least another 1 power bar, and I'm going to put another level into piloting. Because now, as we see on the right hand side, when you have piloting level 2, the ship gets 50% evasion even if no one is in the piloting, which is nice. And of course it gives us an extra ablative power level, so if it gets hit once, if it only does 1 damage, it'll only knock it down, it won't knock it out. Okay, now we've got 2 spare power bars, so I think we can just do this and then depower whatever we need. Evasion's 22%, that'll get better. So yeah, we still get some. If the piloting was only on level 1, this would have gone down to 0. So if we need to, you can still have some dodge even though no one's inside it, which is good. Or if they're fighting someone in here, because if they're fighting here, they're not manning it. So that's another good reason to put level 2 in piloting. Right, let's push on. You detect an automated rebel scout attacking a small refueling outpost. We can intervene to defend the outpost, or we can avoid the conflict. I'm going to intervene. Detecting a higher threat, the automated ship moves in to engage your ship. Okay, pause. Identify. This is a missile. And missiles ignore shields. So, not great. But what we can do is just depower the teleporter, because it's not going to be teleporting on. Get the basic laser, hold control, and just smash their weapons. Keep our engines up as high as we can. We don't really need 2 shield bubbles, but there's no point in depowering because we've got nothing else to put the power into. Here comes a missile. Ow. That's not too bad. Oh, great. We turned off their gun. We're going to have to hit them again to turn the missile off. Okay, that's just we are now at 75% health. Not great, but luckily it hit an empty room, didn't do any damage. The NG's fixed up the engines already. Come on, little laser, fire faster. Hey, and they missed. Thank goodness we put that power bar into engines, eh? And got powered up. Right, nice. Because it can't harm us anymore, I'm just going to get the engine in med bay right now. Save some time. It would be nice to find some better weapons for the ship, because this is painful. We're very good at boarding and killing people, not so good at the shooty. The ship breaks apart and we quickly salvage 2 missiles, 1 more drone part and 11 more scrap. And the outpost hails us after the scout was destroyed. Thanks to the help, we've been harassed non-stop by those scouts. Take this on the house. Another 3 fuel, 1 drone and 24 more scrap. Excellent. Right, I don't think we've got enough time to do all 3 of these pings before we get to the exit, so we'll just do these 2. We might even clip the trailing edge on the way past. A pirate ship arrives shortly after you. Judging from the fact that it is attempting to avoid your ship, you assume it's a smuggler trying to stay away from the beacons. Let's just attack them, because that's the fun part. You power up your weapons and move in to engage. Okay, another new weapon. We know what this is. 1 little laser does 1 shot. This is a bomb. We don't know which bomb it is because bombs don't actually show what they are until they're fully charged up. And as soon as it's fully charged up, it'll fire. So we'll have like 2 frames to identify which kind of bomb it is before it's launched, which is not great. So we do not need 2 layers of shield because we've only got 1 laser, and bombs teleport straight through shields. We know that. We've been doing it ourselves with our own bomb. So let's power up the teleporter, teleport our guys into piloting. We do have 13 missiles. I'm going to depower our laser, power on our bomb, and bomb their weapons and hope it turns their bomb off before it fires. Let's go. Just put our spare power bar in our med bay. This is not great. It's a mantis and a human. Let's run down here, see if we can split off the mantis. Just, and then back up here. Good. Excellent. Managed to kite them and the bomb hit and knocked off both the weapons. Happy days. Oh, hello. With the crew dead, you search the ship. You find military grade weaponry and take what looks most useful. 27 scrap and a heavy laser Mark II. That's a serious bit of kit. Okay, let's fix the people up and investigate this giant laser we found. Okay. This heavy laser fires 2 shots in quick succession, each dealing 2 damage. So yeah, that thing is an absolute beast. And it has a decent chance to do breaches as well, and fires. 13-second charge up. So I'm gonna put that, just click and drag to swap it for the firebomb. I like having the bomb that can teleport through shields and destroy stuff. So if we can get level 4 in weapons, we'll be able to do 3 shots, which is nice. So even if they've got 2 shields, theoretically, if everything hits, we'll go basic laser, knock down 1 shield, heavy laser, first shot knocks down 1 shield, second shot does 2 damage on something. Nice. But of course that's 4 power and that's a long way away. What I would like to do is keep buying power bars. Just another 2, I think. Just so we can have like all the stuff on, medbay on all the time, shields and engines at maximum, and have a power bar in a weapon. Good. Yep, looks like you timed us just right. I think 1 more ping and the fleet would have been here. Nothing here, save for the vast swirls of gas reflecting rays from a distant sun. How very, very disappointing. So let's go to the exit. You've arrived at a long-range beacon. When the FTL drive is charged, you can jump to the next sector. Sometimes you get events and fights here, but no, there is an event. There's a black market hub here. You receive a message. These are dangerous times. If you have extra military grade explosives, we'll gladly pay you for them. We can sell some missiles, but you know what? We might need these bombs, so I'm not going to do that. Number 4, ignore the station. Nothing else happens, so we're ready to jump to the next sector. This is the sector map. This is like the entire game map. We are going from left to right. There's 8 levels, which are called sectors, and you get branching paths that you can choose. Purple ones are nebulas, so it'll be more of these nebula things that slow down the enemy fleet. Red ones are dangerous ones, usually means more fighting. Green ones are civilian ones, and these have at least 3 stores in them, guaranteed. So you can kind of plan out your route. This looks like, I mean, we're going to a green sector no matter what, and then there's a choice of a red or a purple and then a green, so it doesn't really matter which one we go to. We'll be making that choice at the start of the next episode. Let's have a quick review of what happened in Sector 1. We found 2 new crew members. We got them both from a slaver ship. We've got a heavy laser Mark II. We've done lots of upgrades. We do have a combat drone Mark II in the hold because we don't have a drone system to use it. We found a firebomb, which are really, really funny, but they don't actually damage systems, they just set fires. I'd rather keep the little bomb, and this needs 2 power, and we've only got 1 power. We didn't find a store to sell the Mantis ones. If we find a store, we'll very probably sell this as well and get something which is easier to use. But anyway, I hope to see you again for that, and I hope you look after yourself until then. I will talk to you again very soon.